Hello and welcome to an episode of Casual Friday. I'm here with the Duck. As always, the show is brought to you by Woo. Links available in the description below. Don, we are below 104k. It's over.
It's so over.
It's Hyperliquid is down. Fartcoin is down. So really, the base of the financial system is starting to. The cracks are forming, and I'm terrified personally.
Yeah. The signs of nuclear war in the charts.
Yes, yes, it's priced in. We were discussing just before going live how this might be a quick one. I mean, it probably won't be because we just love to fucking ramble all the time. But like, again, from a technical perspective, it's like, well, BTC's gone sideways. ETH has been sideways with a failed breakout, and alts have just kind of been actually bleeding the entire time.
Yeah, to death.
And again, remember the whole narrative that when crypto goes sideways, that's like alt season, and I think the opposite's been true, and that's been the case for a while now. I don't know what sort of like 2017 specific wisdom people are still living in for many of these assumptions. Like, it's a very specific type of BTC consolidation that led to alt season type conditions, right?
Yeah,
It's
the ones where people are optimistic, I think. I mean, like, to be entirely fair, like, everyone is so pessimistic right now. Like, Bitcoin is trading at 100k and everyone's
because no one has any Bitcoin apart from these fucking corporate treasuries, man.
Yep. But I think that's like legit the reason. Like when people are super optimistic and Bitcoin goes sideways, people don't mind gambling. But when Bitcoin goes sideways nowadays, people are just like, okay, everything's fucked. Nuclear war is coming. I better sell everything and make sure I have a bunker ready. Like, I think that's legit. Like how it's gonna go.
It's also like how you get the consolidation. Like if it's after a mega big move and it's like, oh guys, like we're in the clear, right? Like that's the risk on signal. It's like this is a huge impulse move. Now it's pulled back and it's consolidating. Let's go gamble on altcoins because like holy shit, risk is on. But if it's one of these like limp dick all time high chops and you're like, I don't know, man, I kind of don't want to get fucking trapped, you know?
Won't trap me.
They won't trap me. Capo's Black Swan is playing out. He fucking called it. I mean, the weekly, if still the same shit, right? It's this 104 level, and we've spent like 2 months above it now, and this is the first weekly that may close below, depending on what the weekend brings. But again, as discussed last week, the longer price spends kind of hugging this level without doing anything, I think the worse it looks. And similar to last week, again, if you look at how the price action's been on the daily time frame at this weekly level, it's been dog shit. Like this thing is just taking your money. There's no way around it. We spoke on the retest of 104-ish when we were discussing, oh well, maybe on the weekend it'll go down, it'll dip, it'll do whatever. But even the bounce that was generated as a result just made a lower high, and we're back at it again. You know. Like I think every single interaction and the reaction at this level has essentially been dog shit and has taken your money and has not been very good. That said, the weekly close, God bless it, hasn't offered a fake out yet, which is nice. So all the closes have stayed intact. But I think if you get it once, this isn't like a high frequency fake out time frame in my view. Still, when it comes to the BTC weekly, so if it were to close below, I think I'd take that pretty seriously. You know, as discussed, as that's not new. The argument is essentially, hey, we traded into the all-time high and instead of acceleration, we got a 2-month distribution and failed weekly breakout. And in general, failed weekly breakouts are bad for BTC. Like that's kind of the one-liner summary. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet. We still have the weekend. We've got like Trump headlines, fucking geopolitics. Maybe we get bad news and it gets absorbed and we actually go up. Like fuck knows, right? Markets are tricky. But like big picture from a weekly time frame view and all the stuff we've discussed, it's kind of just been a really shit all-time high break, and all the trading that has happened around this 103 to 105 like 100k plus area has been really shitty pretty much across all time frames, and the rest of the market definitely feels that way because even if BTC is holding on by a dick hair, the rest of the market isn't, and that's kind of shit. It literally feels like a fucking bear market everywhere else, and then BTC is in its own world at some absurd number that no one ever thought it'd get to, but no one owns any either, you know? Like, this is such a weird reality to live in.
Yeah, I mean, it's the worst for everyone besides the Bitcoin holders, really. Like, I think a lot of people in crypto feel like they don't have enough money in crypto, so they buy like the risky shit. And I think those people are just getting completely railed right now. Like, oh, you wanted to have more money in crypto? Well, enjoy a 90% drawdown. Like, it's fucking brutal. And I agree with you. Like, it feels like a bear market in anything that isn't Bitcoin. And it makes sense too, right? Like, you could argue that we should be in a bear market. It's just like all these treasury companies buying Bitcoin up, which is artificially like inflating Bitcoin price, but it doesn't translate to the altcoins getting bid. And I kind of think that is a little bit of what's happening. Would have probably gone significantly lower without that bid. And then after that washout, maybe would have gone up quick again. But anyway, Bitcoin is being held up, and I think it can be held up. It's not big enough to, it's not like too big to kind of be like, quote unquote, manipulated like that. Like if you buy enough, if you convince other people to buy enough, why not? It's just that the entire market doesn't really follow suit, which is killing people. But it's not necessarily surprising, right? Like the thing with altcoins has always been and will always be that they're just going down 90% to 100% at some point. And then like, so you basically take bets on them as long as they're going up, and then you have to be really, really quick and run when they stop doing so. And I think a lot of people miss that chance to jump off this cycle around, being kind of misled by the Bitcoin price action. And I mean, I could argue like I'm a little bit impacted as well. I mean, I'm holding ETH underwater by a couple of percent now. And that could be because Bitcoin's just faking me out. But also I just like, there's a few altcoins I still like, but by and large, it's a bear market on everything that isn't Bitcoin.
This is such a rough verdict. That said, I think at least there's still been a ton of dispersion in the market as far as where the returns have been. And at least we have a clear explanation for ETH weakness, which is that it tested the most unbelievable fucking resistance level known to man, aka your long entry price. That thing just fucking top ticked ETH completely, and it has been on the struggle bus.
But it looks still like ETH still looks okay. ETH USD weekly, you cannot like, nah, dude, you cannot tell me ETH USD weekly looks bad.
I can tell you, like, I've lost all money and patience in in like an 8-week 0 candle body range, you know.
Like, it's not even retested 2.3K yet. Like, that's a normal retest, you know, like in a bullish environment.
On the daily, it starts to look shit though, surely.
Yeah. I mean, like, you zoom in a little bit and you don't see like the gigantic move to the upside on the left, and you just focus on the range that keeps on going lower with a false breakout. Fair enough.
Or the 4 hour, like you're telling me. I mean, this, even if you caught the best performing move of the year, you've like, if you tried to trade any of this, you've kind of given back your money.
Obviously, I generally think like
go on.
Yeah, I generally think like trading's just been shit.
Trading's
I've just not like, I haven't even thought about trading any of this.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, I've seen some low time frame operators, at least on Twitter, do well, but you never fucking know, do you?
Oh, like, you never know with these.
You just have no idea.
No.
I mean, yeah, like on the BTC front, it's gonna be the same story, guys. Like, if the weekly forms a failed breakout, that's bad. It's been holding on by a dick hair, and the closes have held up, but it just kind of looks rough. And every other time frame has been miserable. Like, the daily has been miserable to trade that same level and all the other structures. The 4 hour, I think, like, very much speaks for itself. And anything lower than that is just, like, mental illness, you know?
Yeah.
And then you look at ETH. If you look at the ETH weekly, it's like candle bodies are illegal still. It's, except, I mean, we're kind of getting one now.
ETH USD monthly, too. Like, that's not too bad. It's obviously, I mean, it's kind of, it tested resistance last month. But that's not too bad. It reclaimed, for me at least, it reclaimed the old range and it's just pulling back a little bit.
Yeah. Which is what, 2.2 is still the same in validation, right? Like,
yeah, 2.2 is really nice.
And same on the weekly, presumably, right? 2.2, 2.3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I generally, like, I look at these and I'm like, oh, that's not so bad. But price action has just been so horrendous. It's the same with Bitcoin, right? Like, I had a brief look on Twitter, like, just before we started the show, and everyone was just freaking out massively. And then I look on the weekly time frame on Bitcoin, and I'm like, dude, this moved like 1% today. like, or like this week in total, like feels like it moved like 1% or 2%. I don't know how much it actually is.
I mean, we have a
like,
visible candle body. It's been weeks since we've seen one of those, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, you know, like we just went from 75K to 110, 100, more than 110. And then we went from 110 towards 104, 103, and people are freaking out.
I mean,
like,
look,
that's
if
really...
you missed 75 to 110 and bought 110, then you know you're going to be feeling a certain type of way. And I think there was a lot of that. Like, unironically, you know, we love to meme about, oh, if you missed this, then you bought the top, you'd viewed the market differently. Like, that's generally very true. But in this case, it's probably more true than average, because that's like the breakout entry, right? Like the fucking all-time high. I'm swearing a lot today. My apologies. I'm a bad role model for your children. Thankfully, I'm not allowed anywhere near children, so don't worry. That's like a self-solving problem. But in this particular context, like this 108, 109 price being important makes more sense than it ordinarily would. Not just because it's the top, but because that was like the all-time high breakout trade. And like,
but you have to be really stupid to take that one, not gonna lie.
I mean, recently, yeah, like I think historically it used to bang, but 2021 basically ruined that trade, and since then it's been a bit shit. I remember in like 2017, 2018, 2017 more so, right? And then 2020-ish, the all-time high breakout trade was just like a guaranteed banger, you know? That's just kind of what you did. That's where the acceleration took place, and unfortunately then that then basically set a trap for the future. Because like in 2021 a bunch of the analysis was like, hey, we're at an all-time high, look at the last time we were all-time high, this thing just accelerated, and instead it was the all-time high breakout was the fucking top, right? And that's the miserable part about where we are now. It's like the all-time high break has shifted from being, oh my god, we're just getting started, 2017 acceleration gate, and now when you're at an all-time high, you're like, okay, it's not actually all-time high, it's actually a resistance level, the way it's been behaving. And like, that's a bad trade-off, you know? I'd rather this thing act as like an acceleration gate, oh, it's about to kick off, as opposed to, oh, we've reached the top of the range, time to fucking punt it to the other side, mate, you know? Like...
Yeah, but I mean, go on the weekly chart of gold.
Okay. Oh, come on, man.
No.
You've got to stop. You've got to stop doing this. Okay, I'm on the weekly chart of gold.
And then look at the like 2K-ish level, right?
Yes.
This is the kind of asset we are now. Like, if you expect anything else other than this, I think you're just wrong. Like, we're just this kind of piece of shit asset now, where it's like...
I mean, I'm looking at the gold weekly. It's just kind of gone up forever.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you see that breakout level that gets tested like 4 times, and you have like false like breakout slash...
Yeah,
like,
2.1, sure, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
okay, but at least it fucking almost doubled afterwards.
Yeah, but we are not...
we had a bear market after our all-time high break. It's like...
yeah, but I mean, it didn't move for the longest time, and then it just went up only forever, which is kind of nuts to
I know,
kind of observe.
Gold is crazy.
But basically, I kind of feel like we're that kind of shit asset now, where it's like you're gonna flirt with the same level like 3 or 4 times, and people are gonna lose all their money before it breaks out. And maybe that's just what we're gonna do now. And the reason why I said you have to be a little bit, especially kind of stupid if you bought 109, 110K, is because we had that exact same situation be the top in 2021, right? And generally, like, the market started like slowing down a little bit. So I don't know. Seemed, at least now in hindsight, like 4 weeks after that, it seemed like a stupid play. But if it's a high time frame play and you're looking at like the monthly or whatever, and you're just like, fuck it, I just want to have some exposure, then fair enough. It's just the short term. Okay, I'm buying the all-time high breakout. I don't think that's necessarily the best play.
Yeah, it's shifted a lot. It turned into a shit play since 2021. And I remember one of the old, I mean, this may be a few months ago, Casual Friday shows we did, we kind of traced this exact phenomenon, right? It's like, well, what's been the return profile of buying the all-time high break on BTC since like 2017? And that was like pretty much the last time it worked super well. And since that point, certainly the big ones like 2021, that wasn't just like a bad trade for bull market continuation. It was like the top before the bear market. Like, that's a pretty extreme juxtaposition, you know? So that's why I was laughing so much at the gold thing, because you presented a very mellow version where it's like, the level's just a bit jittery. And the market just tests it a few times before going up. And then I'm looking at the BTC chart, be like, bro, this isn't just jittery. It was the fucking top. Like, we went into a deep bear market that almost killed our industry afterwards. It's a bit worse than jittery, but I mean, we'll see. For now, it's kind of just the same shit, where all-time high level TLDR has turned from breakout acceleration gate, things are just getting started type of level, more to a this is where you get stitched up and hope that it's a pullback and not a bear market type of level, which sucks.
Yeah.
Like that's a downgrade, you know, in my view at least. But yeah, that's kind of it for BTC. I'm not going to insult anyone's intelligence by doing too much intraday stuff. And then on ETH, Don is basically 2.3k. Give me 2.3k or give me death. Or perhaps more specifically, below 2.3k. I'd rather you give me death. Although I can see you start to carve out stuff like, hey, 2k is like a weekly cluster that's pretty good. Maybe
I like
there's
2K,
a bounce
yeah.
from there. Yeah, there you go. I fucking knew it. Like, even though you'd be in bigger drawdown from your long trade, you're still going to let that support player bounce. And guess what? It's going to form an amazing bounce that'll find resistance at your fucking long entry again. So what good is that support level if all roads lead to your long entry acting as resistance with you not closing ever, apparently?
It'd actually be really funny. Like if we got a wick to 2k and I doubled up my position, right?
Okay.
And then it bounced to like 2.3k. that'd be my new break even, which is adamantium resistance.
Can you please get a long entry level that's not the best resistance on the chart? Just try for all of us, please.
Anyway,
that is hilarious.
I still, even though like price action has been shit, like I still don't hate ETH from like a TA perspective. It is kind of nice that the resistance level worked so well. Not my entry, but now it can stop working. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice.
It's like you've proven enough. Get out of the way, please.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's that same cluster, right? Like the roadmap that we drew out a while ago on this show of like what 2.2, 1.8, and then this fucked up cluster at 2.6, 2.7, and then 4K basically. That's unfortunately been very effective, and it's led to some pretty miserable price action. I still think the daily is probably one of the worst time frames for this thing, at least in terms of recency, because the prevailing kind of theme on the daily is the failed breakout, and that's kind of still in force below 2.6, 2.7, or however you want to map it, chart it, whatever. But yeah, I think the weekly, this is the crap thing, right? Like let's say it goes below 2.2. What's the trade there? Do you break down short it into 1.8? Is that even worth it? Or are you trying to scoop up 1.8? Is the better trade do or die 1.8 punt? Because if that fails, then there's literally no support when it's going to zero. That may be more attractive. But in general, it's been like 6 weeks or however many weeks are here on this chart of no candle bodies and just shitty wicks. So,
Actually, like, not that. Like, I actually really like that.
You like the 1.8 do or die?
No, but I like the price action we've had for ETH. I just like it's the exact opposite of Bitcoin, right? Like basically, I was like, hey, I really don't like how Bitcoin is grinding at 104k. I really like how ETH is grinding at 2.6, right? Like it's basically just poking into resistance over and over and over again, being quite a bit away from support still, even though Bitcoin's been like not trading so well and the entire other rest of the market has been shit. Like I actually really like that price action, especially considering the strong move we've had before, right? Like basically going from 1.3k all the way to 2.6, like that's double, like a double into like straight up only sideways and kind of like poking into resistance over and over and over again. Like that's a pretty good like short-term chart right there. The problem is that at the same time as that is happening, we have the Bitcoin chart, which is grinding at support, which is a little bit scary because if that breaks, I mean, the ETH setup just goes out the window.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, in a vacuum, I can understand why you'd prefer a chart that's poking into resistance over one that's repeatedly leaning on support. I don't think that's like a blanket assumption that works 10 out of 10 times, but contextually you can make it work, right? The difficulty is we don't live in a vacuum unless it's like a liquidity vacuum, which is exactly what fucking happens when BTC disappears, right? Like none of these setups matter. So there's like an interdependency there that makes that tricky. But also, like, I understand from your perspective, having back held a fucking 50% drawdown on ETH and holding it now, how you kind of
like a Chad.
Yeah, like a fucking legend. It's like I'm just gonna I should really disregard everything you have to say about ETH like indefinitely because you're just willing to hold a 50% drawdown, and yet here you're gonna call out like tick perfect levels. Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
oh, that's really funny. But no, like, I get it. It's just, you know, if you ask any reasonable person who's trading on any kind of reasonable time frame, what do you think of ETH price action? I think very few people would still have the lens of, oh, I'm going to look at the candle of the 5th of May, you know? And like, that's going to inform most of my view. I think most people are looking at the last 4 or 5 weeks of price action or the daily chart or looking at BTC.
That's why they don't make any money.
That's okay. Based. Okay, fine. So, like, any bearish argument for ETH, you essentially, as long as it's above 1.8, it's skill issue. Use the wrong time frame, or what?
So, like, basically, you like anything that is below 2.3k starts looking really shit.
Okay.
But it is, in my opinion, a really good trade if you get like a wipeout, like a leverage wipeout into 1.9, 1.8k.
The weekly cluster.
Like to just kind of buy that and play the bounce. I think that'd be fine. Like just ignoring my entry, ignoring everything else that happened before it. I think like buying 1.9, 1.8k is almost always like a good trade. Doesn't mean that you're always going to make money, but I think that's like that would just be an obviously like 7 out of 10 times you make money on that, and even in the bad times it bounces a little bit and you can reevaluate. And then there's 1 out of 10 where you just completely lose all money that you have and you're fucked. But I mean, that's just how it goes. So like I like it. Like I like a wipeout into 1.9, 1.8 for a bounce. I like it the way it is trading right now. If it stays this way, if it starts leaning on 2.3k, the same way Bitcoin is leaning on 104, I would start getting more and more nervous. But so far, I actually don't hate this too much. And that is like quite a big statement given that the rest of the market looks horrendous. But ETH to me doesn't.
Yeah. Just for clarity, the sort of main, I guess the edifice of ETH still doesn't look like a piece of shit is the impulse move and the fact that it's held the consolidation that's followed since then, right?
I mean, everything else is leading up. Like, just open up the Sol USD chart, for example, or Sol BTC, even worse. Like, open Sol BTC, and then you'll see, like, what kind of, like, normal charts in crypto look like right now. And that's fucking awful. Like, that
even almost... the USD pairs on most of these majors look, you know, curious.
I mean, the USD pair on Sol actually is at support now, I would argue.
Where do you have it? Is it weekly or...
yeah, it's the weekly. Everything's the weekly chart right now. To me, like everything is so choppy that everything's just on the weekly chart. And like 132, like that cluster before we had the final breakdown below the range.
Gotcha.
I like that as support. So if you're ever gonna see this thing turn around, I think this is basically where it has to turn around. Like 133, 132. Can box that green candle out. I think that's a pretty decent spot. If that fails, I mean, it's kind of fucked. But I generally just don't necessarily like it too much. Like I like the chart's not bad, Sol USD that is, but I don't like I don't like Sol. I don't like the fundamentals right now, and just so many competitors. And it seems like the Solana ecosystem has scammed so much that people are just straight up out of money. Like we talked about the whole, like everyone on Solana is rich, therefore the memes are going up. Do you remember this? Like on the way up, where like it's the most interesting chain because everyone is just fucking rich. The same was true for Hype, for example. Now, like, is it still the most interesting chain? Because I would argue everyone that's been trading on Solana is like poor, besides like people like Ansem that just made a lot of money off of other people. Like it's just straight up allegedly in Minecraft, whatever.
I think a lot of that has gone away. Have you seen those like pump fund P&L breakdowns?
Yeah, like the people, like the best trader held like stuff for like what, like 15 to 45 seconds
Yeah,
or
just
something.
like dumping on copy traders and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, the
it's.
only ones that are making money are influencers, pump and dumping on their followers.
Listen, I just think you're not grinding hard enough to find the daily runner, Don. So
Yeah.
that's really what's going on here. I think if you just grinded a little bit and got in the trenches and kind of vibed out with the lads, you'd be able to catch a daily runner and see how unbundled and unscammy it is. But you're a washed up boomer holding ETH and
True.
underperforming.
True.
So you
I
know.
underperforming. No, I'm just losing half my money while they lose all their money.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, the state
But
of the trenches in that sense is
the state of
rough.
this market, man,
The state
fucking
of crypto,
insane.
like some very well-meaning people have. Well, I say some. You know how influencers love saying shit like everyone asks me and it's fucking made up. No one asks them shit. I've had like 2
Yep.
DMs asking, "Oh, why don't you like post more? What's going on?" And part of me is like, "Well, what am I supposed to post about? Like, BTC is trading like a piece of shit. So is ETH. No one cares about trading. It's about like casino drama. Yeah, it's what is it? It's like casino drama, influencer pocket watching, Israel Palestine, Trump derangement syndrome, and like AI is like 10 million times more interesting than any of this like scamming stuff. You know, like realistically, I think a lot of people would justifiably gravitate towards crypto even if it were just for money purposes, because they were bubble chasers, right? And it's like, this is the bubble and this is where I can make like a lot of money in a short period of time, maybe in good faith, maybe in bad faith, ethical gray area or not, like whatever. Like, this is the place to be. This is where the attention, capital, speculation is, and you can turn very little into a lot, and it's hot and frothy and the conditions are right and there's no sense of expertise and the doors are open for everyone, yada yada yada. That was crypto. I don't think that's crypto at the moment. I actually think it's AI. Realistically, and this is going to sound like fucking dog shit, like an awful idea, and tell me if you disagree.
Pivot to AI.
I think if you're like
if you're in crypto, pivot to AI. Wasn't that like it?
yeah, dude, like basically
at the Pico bottom.
At the Pico bottom. But I think
guys.
like, dude, if you're like a 16 to 26-year-old or some shit, and you don't have like a ton of skills, but you're willing to like grind and self-teach and learn, and you want to like flip something, I think like building a fucking GPT wrapper with and getting a few customers in the AI space, well, you could probably just make a lot more, or even just joining a company in that space and riding out like a seed or series A or whatever else. The EV is probably higher than trench grinding, you know?
Oh, trench grind, 100%.
Yeah.
I generally think right now, right, as memey as that sounds, right?
Pivot to like, AI, Jesus. Oh my God, what have we become?
No, but right now, I think like if you're gonna spend your time in crypto, spend it on something that actually has promise, because the regulation has changed, right? Like, I mean, besides like all the presidential grifting that we've had, regulation has changed in a big way and has opened the doors for this stuff to be actually useful, right? Like, I would argue that like a lot of the crypto projects, they could do cool shit now without being too fearful of getting wrecked by the US regulators. So like, why spend your time like trench grinding, as you said, instead of like looking for actual promise somewhere? I think that's so much better in the current landscape. Like, everything is depressed, the market is kind of shit. Bitcoin's been going up infinitely, and there's a bunch of tradfi boomers that are trying to get as much of it as possible. In that circumstance, like in those circumstances, like, I think you just look for something actually useful, and that's really hard to find, right? Because basically, like the crypto industry was unable to make anything useful happen because of the regulation that was just complete dog shit. So now you have the chance, but everything, like all the prices are depressed, so people don't want to take that chance, because they're just like negative about everything. And I think that's the wrong mindset. So like you said, either you pivot to AI and you do whatever. I think there's a lot of just kind of future potential there, or you look for something in crypto, like if you're already in crypto and you're familiar with the space, where you can actually do some good and I think like have an impact. and find stuff that is actually trying to do some good and have an impact. And I think you're going to be so much better off than trying to like play those pump and dump games that the influencers are trying to make you play by buying the daily runner or whatever the fuck it's
I
called.
love that
Like
game, the daily runner.
Like you're gonna lose all your money, and then you're gonna sit there and hate the space. And instead, you could do something good with your time by either doing something else, like ignoring crypto entirely, or looking for value in crypto where there is actually value, not necessarily.
And you can build it now, right? Like again, the regulatory landscape.
You can do shit.
Yeah,
you can just do shit.
You can
just
do
sit
things.
down, do shit.
Agency is back. Yeah, I mean, I think the framework that's appropriate is like, okay, you can either just like scam because it's crime season, so you could just like become comfortable and participate in criminal elements, which we don't endorse, obviously. But if you have that kind of dark triad, if you've got those like dark triad personality traits, Machiavellian, sociopath, like you don't give a fuck, like, there's still no better place than crypto to just take people's money. So, and it's crime season, so there's like a lower degree of scrutiny than probably ever before, at least in our time over the last 8 years.
Dude, people were shit talking other people for having reflinks, and now people are straight up. Like the most famous people in the crypto space, the biggest influencers are straight up launching rugs, chilling casinos on the same days. Like the fuck? Like, and then everyone is just like, oh, that's fine. Like, that's fine.
I mean, back in the day,
he's just grinding.
He's just grinding, yeah. I mean, just to point how absurd it was, back in the day, like any reflink, you'd be like castigated, and it's like you're a scammer, piece of shit, lol, you don't make any money. Any paid group, even if you did like a full fucking trading course, whatever, like you're a scammer grifter. And I remember in 2017, there were like market cap rules about what you could shill for centralized exchange coins. You know, like you'd have coins that were listed on a centralized exchange, and there was some like eyeball ratio. People would look at how many followers you have, and this is back in the day where like 100K was a shit ton, you know. And it's like there was like a follower to market cap ratio, and people would self-police and call each other out, like, bro, why are you shilling this? You're gonna have a lot of market impact. Like we've fallen so far. So I think if you want to get into crypto, you either have to, go for the criminal elements if that's a part that interests you and suits your personality type and risk profile.
You really shouldn't, by the way.
I mean, you shouldn't, but like it's there, you know, like it exists, and it's probably more attractive than ever. But I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just don't shoot the messenger. But it is crime season, and it's like, oh well, who's participating in this? Like bad people? It's like, well, yes, but also the president of the United States. So there's also that.
Same, bro.
Same. So like you can either do crime, you can also just like actually build stuff, because DeFi, like the SEC has been neutered completely. The regulatory landscape is being raised, and I mean that like with a Z. It's being taken to zero, scratched off completely, and you get to restart. The US government is like jerking off about stablecoins, and like DeFi is probably hot again as a result. So if you want to actually fucking build something, including around /for US people, the regulatory landscape and the infrastructure has probably never been better for it, like ever. So you could do that. Or you can fucking pivot to AI and join some like GPT wrapper company or self-teach and join some lab and ride off on either the absurd salaries or the absurd valuations, or build an app and flip it based on your MRR and all that fucking Silicon Valley Y Combinator shit. And there's a bunch of froth there as well. I think that's pretty decent.
Did you see the Sam Altman like interview where it was like, Meta's trying to get our best people?
Yes.
And they're paying like 100 million or something, signing bonuses.
Like 20 in cash and 80 in stock. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, the biggest labs. And it's you don't even need to be like anywhere close to the most competitive frontier labs. You could just get into that area. And dude, I saw like an AI note-taking app sell for 200 million or something, you know, out of like the dozens that exist. I mean, there's some absurd, it's like ICO season there, or NFT season. There's some absurd shit going on in AI, and there's such a lack of expertise as well. And ironically, you could actually use these models to self-teach yourself a very decent amount. And if you document that self-teaching process and have a bunch of like little pet /hobbyist projects that you run for yourself or blogs or whatever else, that like the bar for expertise is super fucking low at the moment because it's also new and changing so quickly. It's like unironically, it's a pretty good time to, if you especially if you're young, to I think direct some attention that way. I mean, this is
but
complete
but
tangent. Go on.
Yeah, and keep your money in crypto so my backs actually go up.
Yes,
like
you can DCA. You can have a salary and fucking just like periodically buy some BTC and ETH to bail out Don. That's okay. You know, you probably do better.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
So yeah, pivot to fucking AI. On the altcoin front, by the way.
Yeah.
Fartcoin is down. That's quite upsetting. It is into one of the levels we discussed though, which is like 90 cents round number.
Yeah, it's still not that bad.
It's 10% down today, which is interesting. It's like one of the weakest ones. Do you think this range low is going to hold? I'm just looking at it on the 4 hour right now, daily.
Yeah, I don't even have that low time frames.
Okay.
No, but I think like there's a chance that it wipes out, but like 0.7 to 0.75 is like a really good area. So I think that would hold. So I generally I think like 0.7 is really, really good. And then maybe you get maybe it bottoms before, maybe it doesn't, but I like 0.7 for a retrace. And
sorry, go on.
And then if it goes up, you have a quite nice level now, I think, which is 1.2-ish.
Yeah.
Basically on the weekly time frame, like the last green close. If you close back above there, I think it's probably gonna run.
That's nice, yeah. I mean,
so you have like a downside. Yeah, you have like a downside. Like if this nukes 0.7, I think is quite nice. If you're bullish on this, if you're not bullish on this, and like I think you always have to preface this with altcoins. Like if you're not bullish on a coin, like and someone's like, oh yeah, there's a support level there and there. Like none of these matter if you think the coin is just not gonna go up. Like people are always like, oh, I need to trade everything. But if you're not bullish something, just fucking ignore it. You don't need to trade these things just because there's a good level or just because you want to trade the stuff that you think should go up, right? And I mean, for like meme coins, at least for me, right? Like I probably will not buy Fartcoin. I don't really care about it too much. But for like a meme coin, that seems like a decent bet, right? Like it's a funnier meme coin than like 99% of it. So like that would be a good reason. Like if you like meme coins generally, and then you just look for the best ones. I mean, Fartcoin could be on that list for you if you like it, and then you can look at these support levels and you're like, I like it. I want upside exposure, and then you look at those kind of levels. But if you don't, if you think meme coins are kind of ridiculous, and fair point, I 100% agree, then you don't have to. So. Just wanted to make that clear because people are going to lose their mind if it goes to 0.7 and then to 0. And they're like,
Don told me to DCA. My favorite excuse.
Yeah. If you DCA anything other than Bitcoin and ETH, I think you've lost your mind. Just generally.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Even ETH has become, harder to justify over the last couple of years.
I've been saying for like the past few years, I've been like, yeah, that's been me.
Like I've been saying, thing you hate. Do you realize this? Like,
no, it's just went down enough where I'm like, you could argue that this is fair. Like that's good value. I think like generally, if there's one thing you want to DCA, it's obviously Bitcoin. But like, I think the second best one is ETH. It's just a question of do you want to take that increased risk because you're almost certainly will be able to make money with Bitcoin, and with ETH that's much bigger question mark, right? The risk is much greater. And I've been saying like for the last couple of years, I was like, hey, I don't think you should be putting ETH on that list with Bitcoin. Like it's not okay at all. I think at this point with ETH trading where it is at and with sentiment being as it is, there's a good argument to be made to kind of do it. But also, like, the risk is astronomical in comparison to Bitcoin. So, maybe don't. But I think,
but for your sake, do.
Yeah. I don't hate it at this point anymore.
Fine. I think that's somewhat consistent, at least. I should have asked sort of this question first before asking about specific altcoins. Is that like in where the market is right now, what do you think is the necessary trigger to start punting altcoins? Is it essentially a bet that this is the BTC wipeout, like sub 104, and then everything else gets lifted, including altcoins? Like what would need to be the thesis here to punt alts? Because in my view, it's either that you think that this stab lower is going to result in some sort of low time frame deviation, right? Like a move below previous week's low, for example. That'll get bid up over the weekend, then we rescue the weekly close, yada yada, and fucking send it from there. And so you're buying altcoins on the micro flush. Or I think the only other argument is that, you know, the rug gets pulled and you get a big wipeout, open interest cleared out, liquidations, big spreads basically between futures and spot and all that type of stuff, and you come in to provide some liquidity and do some housekeeping, which is always an attractive altcoin trade, but that's one you hold for like 1 or 2 days and then fuck off. Yeah. It's not like a generational entry thing. I think aside from those two arguments, i.e. the BTC bottom is basically in, it's a fake out, and alts are going to wipe out and I'll buy the wipeout, those two aside, is there any other reason to be punting at the moment? Like, I guess if you're holding short, that you could justify that on the assumption that, well, I'm winning and I think this shit is going to go down. Like, that's not a fresh trade. That's more of a trade management thing. I think if you're just approaching this from like a blanket perspective, looking at alts, is there anything I'm missing? It's like, it's either you think BTC is mispriced here, or you think alts will be mispriced when they wipe out. But that seems to be it, because otherwise it's just fucking drifting lower with BTC already teetering as it is. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I think generally for the ETH market, for the altcoin market to turn around, you would need a runner, like a big one,
a daily runner in the
trenches. Yeah, no, not in the trenches, but like a daily runner, to use the meme. That is actually one of the majors. Like,
okay, but ETH did that and kind of did it though. Happened. Yeah, dude, it had its biggest fucking day in like 8 years or some shit. What more do you want? You need like 10 candles like that?
No, it went like it went down like 99% and then recovered like half of that, not even. Yeah. And I mean, it's a tough argument to make. Like, for example, let's say ETH runs, right, like from here to, like, let's say from here to 4K. Okay. I think at that point you look at the other altcoins and you're like, okay, I just gotta, like, risk is back on, baby. Okay. And I want to take some risk, and you're probably gonna be just fine. Or you look at XRP and it's at like $2 right now, a little bit more than that. It goes to $3 or like $3.50. At that point, you probably want to be like grabbing some of any of the altcoins that you personally like, something like that, right? Like the big coins start moving, then you can start making good arguments for altcoins. Just because I think a lot of people are still watching, but they don't like the weakness that they're seeing, which is more than fair, right? Like, it's the only smart thing to do. When the altcoin market is shit, you usually don't want to participate, at least not with a large chunk of your portfolio. But when it turns around, people get really, like, jump on that bandwagon really, really quickly, right? So you would need one of these to run, and then the market looks really, really different in like just a day or 2 or 3. Like, one of these goes and starts just going. I think a lot of the other ones would go too.
That's the one that high starts bar though, right? It's like, alts will go up if alts go up.
Yeah, but I mean, basically, you just need to have one good runner. And then you can start reconsidering your altcoin thesis. Okay. And until that happens, you can be like, altcoins are just shit.
But to be clear, your bar for that is pretty fucking high, no matter what the instrument is, right?
It's yeah. I mean, if ETH goes from 2.4 to 2.7, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. So you're like, XRP if you goes from 2 to go up, ETH needs to double. That's the threshold test.
I mean, basically, like,
I mean, I get it. It's consistent, but Jesus, man.
I mean, it's basically like, or you can just be like, hey, I think that is going to happen, and I'm pretty sure I know which one is going to be, and I'm going to bet on that double before it actually happens. But that's very, very difficult.
I'm in the right Telegram groups type of trade.
But the good thing is with these majors, right? Like, you would have to be in some very, very big, like, as not big in size, but big in personality in there, right? Like, in big wallets, Telegram groups to push like ETH or XRP or something like that around. So like those kind of moves where like some scam influencer cannot impact the price, those would be the ones. And I think it makes sense just because like the market has been shit for so long. You should probably doubt most of what it's doing until you actually get like a big mover. Or you like just go for the ones that you think are gonna be doing that, and then you just bet on those. Problem with that is that most of the time, like 90%, 99% of the time, you're probably gonna be wrong, and you're gonna lose your money. But yeah, I mean, I generally think like you get a runner like that. Like let's say ETH goes from where it is right now to 3.5K. And then like everything else is just lagging a little bit and you want to allocate, what you probably should be doing is allocating to the one that actually ran, not the ones that you like.
Strength begets strength type of shit.
I think a lot of people would bet on their favorite altcoin in that instance, and that's fair enough. But I think you probably lose out against the one that actually started the movement in the first place. It's the same. You look at Solana, right? And Solana went up, and people were like, I'm just gonna buy like whatever AVAX or any of the other ones, and they made like a fraction of the gains with like 5 times the risk.
Yes. The over rotate. Yeah, it's like strength is staring you in the face, and you choose to ignore it and buy something else. I mean, that was the cycle for BTC as well. People were just like, oh, well, what about the ETH ETF? We're gonna front run that, and
the whole front running thing never worked really.
Yeah, you don't front. Yeah, there's nothing to front.
Just
run. Okay,
just
fine.
buy the fucking strength. Basically, you see strength in any of these, like the major ones, not the small ones that you can pump and dump, and then hit it on the ones that are actually the strongest.
Okay. But yeah, framework-wise, I mean, that answer isn't radically different, right? Like, it's essentially...
the market is shit right now, is essentially what it is, right?
Yes, the market is shit, so the standard is high. That's the one-liner summary. Okay, I can live in that world. We talked about Farcoin. What about Hyperliquid? Are there levels on that where you're like, listen, this thing has actually been the outrageous relative strength coin, and now it's getting sold off?
I mean, have you seen the full diluted like FDV of this thing?
Dude, it's a lot. Yeah,
it's a lot. Now, I don't want to say that is necessarily like, oh yeah, it's not gonna go up because the FDV is high, but I think it's quite high.
Yes.
I mean, it's already basically made it to the top 10 in market cap, which is as like, this is something that we've talked about in prior cycles, not so much in this one, but as something where coins go to die, right?
And we talked about it for memes, and that was broadly true, like for WIF and stuff like that.
Top 100 for memes, top 10 for decent coins.
Sure.
Ish, where it's like you go to the top 10. It's the same with fucking Link back in the day. Link was like hailed as the best coin. It climbed the market cap lists of coins, and then it landed in the top 10, and then it just did nothing while everything else mooned, and then it just slowly dropped back out of it again. We're getting close for that with Hyperliquid, but I still like it. And the cool thing is that it actually does something, at least, right? Like, it's a product. Whereas, like, I mean, for example, Cardano is worth more right now, quite a bit more. And the Cardano is Cardano, you know, like there's a lot of coins like in the top 10 still that people could argue that they're kind of just garbage. And so like the downside obviously for the hype trade is that it's already large. So the expected returns, I think, are more muted now than they have been in the past, but I still like it generally from like just what it is. TA wise, I look at the weekly chart and I still don't really hate it. Like, it could retest $28 and still be fine, right? $28 would kind of be like, if this wipes out, that's like a wick to consider. Like anything between 27 and 28, I think would be kind of interesting on hype.
Yeah, I had something similar. I was on the daily time frame, and there's a nice like 32 from the highest close.
You still live?
Yes. Oh, sorry, I was muted for some reason. I have something very similar for hype on the daily time frame. Do you see the 32 level based on the highest close, roughly?
Yeah.
It could be 30 round number. I'd be curious to see if that gets plunge protected, onto what extent, or even if you sort of wick through and reclaim. I think that'd be spicy, because like round numbers for this thing are interesting at the very least. If that doesn't stick, then any kind of weekly structure below the breakout level, and just to see the pain points of where these people get washed out, which is like what, mid 20s ish, and then you can sort of work your way down if you have to. But it's like 30, mid 20. It's kind of almost like the ETH thing, you know. You can almost split it up quite evenly, like 30s, mid 20s, low 20s, and I think if you get into the teens, well, first of all, what the fuck happened? But second of all, I still think that'd be interesting. as trade, you know. And at that point, a lot of the FDV arguments are no longer apply because hey, it's not that big. It just halved. So yeah, I think this is still, and also it's like it's a good one to trade. Like it's fucking volatile. And yeah, so for me, it roughly pretty much the same what you said. You know, 30-ish round number, and then if it goes below that, I still think that's. At that point, it's probably being dragged down by a bunch of other stuff, and I think the probability that it's mispriced relative to everything else is higher. So I think you still want to punt at good spots. Other alts I've not really been paying any attention to because, I mean, I'm sorry, like it's just like last week. And you remember our open, not call out, but I guess it was a request more than anything. Like, hey guys, like the entire market looks like a piece of shit. If it isn't, please let us know which version of crypto you have downloaded. Like, are we missing an expansion pack or like a DLC? Because, you know, the base game is awful right now. And I think most of the comments were like, yeah, guys, like apart from, funnily enough, a couple of the comments were, apart from Fartcoin and Hype, like crypto's a piece of shit. And then
now those are down.
Yeah, fucking classic. And yeah, like, I mean, look at Pepe, for example, on the daily time frame. It's just getting dog walked. It's getting dog walked lower, you know? That's hideous.
Yeah.
Aave doing like a deep retest, which isn't too bad actually. I think around, I mean, again, it's like a do or die at the mid 200s type of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of coins that are do or die levels right now.
Yeah, I mean, Cardano is just fucking bleeding to like a lot. BNB is a stable coin. Dogecoin, again, new lows, bleeding. Fartcoin, as we discussed, I mean, been trading lower into the same level, retesting it for the 4th time. Hype, do or die, 30s, round number. Pengu, whatever, walk down, same lows. Sol, walk down, new lows, at least like on the daily market structure type of level. Sui, downtrend. XRP, same rate. Dude, like it's shit, you know?
Some more than others, basically.
Some more than others, yeah.
You basically look through the list, you're like, this is shit and this is giga shit, and that's basically it.
Yes, and you can obviously go down the whole Velo route and look at the 24-hour change and 24-hour volume, or go to Levitas and set up a dashboard based on open interest changes. Like you can trench your way with a centralized exchange coins as well for like low time frame intraday trading, but like it's fucking boring and the market's shit. That's it. Do you want to do some news?
Yeah, I genuinely think we're in that spot where it's like so boring and no one gives a shit. And it's actually really interesting because we are right at the point where we're either going to break down or bottom on like most of these. I like, you look back on this week, I think like legit this week, and you're going to be like, oh, this, like, I should have known. Like, it was so boring. Like, I should have known this thing is, like, going to move big. I think we're pretty close to it now. Like, I would be shocked if we have, like, shit price action for another month.
I mean, you can hindsight LARP with that, right? Because if it goes down, you can say, look, there was peak complacency. 104K distributed heavily. All these headlines couldn't move the fucking market. Uncertainty, leaning on support, complacency, finally broke down. And then if it goes up, you just do basically the reverse of that, which is look at all the World War III headline, FUD, etc. that we absorbed. A bunch of open interest was shed on the most speculative shitters. Funding, open interest, whatever, reset. And we still kept above 104. Send it. And that's it. You're a genius no matter... listen, you send out the bullish tweet, I'll send out the bearish tweet. And then at least someone on this show wins as a result.
Oh, I like it. We'll do that.
Perfect. No, but I agree. Just like from a time-based perspective, I think we're running thin on time, essentially. Just purely anecdotally. There's zero... Do you have any empirical evidence?
A little bit. So whenever you have this situation where you basically go through the charts, you look at Solana last level, and like the most important kind of coins that you have, it's the last level that is really actually like important. Like just basically make a higher low or confirm the entire bear market thing, right? Like we are right at the level there. We are right at the level for ETHUSD, like a little bit higher, and it's actually just gonna be back. Like we're so back. On Bitcoin, same thing, like 104K, like that's the line in the sand. I think that like anything between 102 and 104K is still fine, but anything below there starts being really scary. You look at XRP, the range that it has had for like months and months on end. We're trading at like 2.1 something. The range low is like 2.1. It's tested that 1 million times. It's also tested the range high 1 million times. Like we are at do or die levels. Like go even to the obscure coins, right? Litecoin USD on the monthly is sitting on that diagonal that it's been grinding on, and it's not moving. Starting to run out of time on that one too. You look at any of these coins, really, like almost all of them are at those levels where you either break down and confirm kind of like the break, like that it's actually broken down. Like for example, Doge USD on the monthly, like that has had a false breakout, or like on the weekly, on all of those, like it's had a false breakout, and now it's very, very close to confirming basically like bearish market structure. And when you have that on a lot of coins, and it's kind of like a sliver away from like confirming something, but hasn't quite yet, usually even the big ones start moving, right? And whenever you have that situation, you get like a move from Bitcoin that kind of confirms all of these on the altcoins. And I think that's basically where we're at. The next 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe even next week, we're gonna confirm like a lot of either bottoms or okay, we missed the top and it's just gonna nuke for a while.
What are you leaning towards, Don?
I mean, I am still leaning on we're actually going to bottom on a lot of these, but it's hard. It's a tough call, but I still think like my gut feeling is that a lot of these are actually just gonna like in the process of bottoming, but I could be horrendously wrong. Good thing is, like usually I'd be stressed and be watching the market 24/7. In this instance, like I would have my longs because my gut feeling in my TA is actually more on the side of okay, we're actually gonna go up. So I would be in my longs, but I'd be sweating because it's fucking awful right now. And now I just took profits on the way up, and I like whenever I make some money on something, I just take profit and take it out of the market. So even if it nukes to zero, I'm kind of fine. So I'm not stressing too much. It's kind of nice. Like I still think probably goes up, but obviously there's always a chance that it goes down. And I think if it goes down from here, it's going to be horrendous. And it's nice for like not having to stress too much for the first time in a long time. Where I'm like, it'd be nice if it goes up. It'd be shit if it goes down, but it wouldn't be like changing much. Yeah. And that's a nice position to be in.
Yeah. And that also, funnily, like ironically, that's what makes, as we've discussed previously, part of making a show like this so fucking difficult, because you just have no idea how someone has played this cycle, what their current positions are, their time frame, risk appetite, etc. Someone holding that 50%, like for you, that 50% drawdown in spot ETH was like a piece of piss. You just couldn't give a shit, right? It was just like funny. And just
I mean, it would have been better not to.
It'd be better not to, obviously. But like for a 50% drawdown, like it is what it is. You know?
Yeah, I didn't lose sleep over it.
Yeah, where someone
I would have
leverage,
back in the day. Yeah,
of course. And that's because that's a byproduct of like how you structured the trade. Like it's still a shit trade. Like fuck you. That's that was fuck. But like,
I'll take it. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like because of what happened on the way up and how you've structured the trade and it's spot not future, etc. It kind of becomes like a joke. You know, you can kind of joke about it and it's not the end of the world. Whereas imagine someone just like top blast their entire portfolio into ETH on leverage and then has to hold their 50% drawdown. They wouldn't get halfway there, right? They're liquidated. So like a lot of contextual considerations apply here. But I mean, market-wise, I would hate to have to make a choice right now, essentially. I will, my only kind of northern light here, I mean, I'm too fucking busy. I spend all day for some reason working on breakout stuff, and having a real job is interesting in its own way. But as far as the TA stuff goes, I'm still going to give a lot of weight to the weekly failed breakout if it closes that way. Because I think it deserves it. Like in the simplest sense, out of everything we've discussed, I just think it would deserve that. Could it be a Gainsy fake out signal and then ultimately a nothing burger and that is the bottom that we close below? Yeah, it's completely possible. But like until proven otherwise, I'm going to take weekly signals of this nature seriously. You know, just like we'd take the fake bearish retest on the weekly seriously because it never fucking works. I think you sort of have to take the weekly failed breakout if it forms equally seriously because it works a lot, you know?
I agree.
So that's like a useful guiding light for me, at least. The only final things that I had were kind of news related. One is that Circle's stock nears $200 per share.
That's insane. Like, we're in a bear market, dude. Like, have you not noticed? Like,
yeah, it's like a token
you know?
bear market and like a stock bull market, like fucking Metaplanet.
The worst
Circle.
of all worlds,
awful,
man.
awful, just
awful.
dog shit. I hate it. But yeah, just go trade equities, I guess, is the lesson there. And then this is funny. This is just almost just for us to laugh about, essentially, from nostalgia. Analyst says Bitcoin's 100,000 level is being cemented as the base price for investors. Now, this is Elliot Johnson. This is the best thing I've ever fucking heard. Are you ready? Who said this, right? Elliot Johnson, CEO of the newly launched Bitcoin Treasury Corporation.
Oh, God. That's the most bearish thing I've ever heard, dude.
You dickhead.
Oh no, price 3% away from that level, dude. Like, shut the fuck up.
Man whose entire strategy is dependent on BTC going up says BTC won't go down. More news at 12. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? You know, absolute pedestrian amateur hour, blatant conflict of interest. This isn't actually any real. There isn't any real analysis here. Its recent strength is a testament not only to its resilience as a safe haven asset. Yeah, I mean, this is 2017 called it, wants its talking points back, you know? And also, funnily enough, what this triggered for me mentally is we had a similar cohort in 2021 saying that, like 50K, I think it was, or maybe it was another level, is like adamantium on-chain support. Like at the time when on-chain and like everyone was fucking jerking off about on-chain, like, on-chain is so good, look at the fucking wallets, you know, like all this dog shit, bad analysis. And by the way, all of those guys pivoted to derivatives and got absolutely fucking cleaned out because they have no idea what they're doing. And then they pivoted to BTC treasury companies. And good for them, because holy shit, like free money this cycle. Nonetheless, the reason that's funny is because we've seen this in 2021. People start saying like, this is like the floor. This is the price below which will, below X never again. This is the on-chain support level. Whenever people approach like BTC, especially when it comes to downside targets with that amount of certainty and start talking about ceilings and floors alike, they get fucking run over. Yeah, 6K called, 45K called. Like, yeah, these people get fucking run over 10 times out of 10. And the fact that, I mean, why would you even post this article? Like, yeah,
are you trying to make price go down? Like, what are you doing?
Make it crash, yeah. 6K, longing 6K is free money, 45K is on-chain adamantium support, 100K is cemented. Like, okay, guys, what the fuck are we doing here?
Not great.
Not great. And then Justin Sun linked firm plans to go public in the US with TRX acquisition strategy. And like, fuck these headlines, dude. I'm losing my mind.
The whole Justin Sun arc is incredible.
I know. You kind of have to love him. He's like,
it's actually insane.
If you were to pitch him as a TV show, the producers would be like, this is just not believable.
I mean, you cannot, like, at least like allegedly, I mean, from kind of like everything that's been around there, right? Like, it kind of looks like, I don't know if it is like that, but it kind of looks like he just did crime after crime, but so fast in succession and so many of them that no one was actually able to keep up with him until the US government changed. And I mean, at least it looks like it. I don't know if it actually happened, but until he could buy himself out with the money that he made from crime. Like, that's actually, like, it's a wild story, right? Like I said, all kind of like from things that I've seen online, maybe all made up, who knows, right? But like from having seen this, it's actually insane.
Wasn't
like
he a diplomat at some point, like Grenada, like that's where his excellency thing comes from.
Like he's done so much dumb, like such incredible, like weird shit.
I
like,
fucking love him though.
Shady, like is involved in everything that is shady in the world.
Well, no, wrong. He's involved in everything, full stop. You know, this is his whole thing is whenever anything happens, he's like, how do I get involved? You know, I remember when the UBS Credit Suisse thing was happening. He's like, yeah, I'll bail them out. Like, I'll buy them.
The same with FTX. When FTX went down, he was like, oh yeah, the people on FTX can buy Tron and I'll bail them out. Never happened, actually, I think.
And then there's the AI fund as well when ChatGPT kicked off. Like, this dude is everywhere. Like, he's got a chronic need to make everything about him. So I guess it's the whole like Trump web of Trump, Melania, Trump token, World Liberty Fi, his sons. Like that's like Banana Republic third world corruption.
I mean, it's actually insane. Yeah, do any crime, and then buy enough Trump coins, and you're actually just golden. Like, and then it becomes like it's
so
a math
funny.
problem. You
Yeah.
just like you're like, how much money can I make with crime, and how much is gonna cost me to be like pardoned by the president?
Yes.
And then you're like, okay, I can make 250 million by doing crime. That's plenty to buy me out of it again. So fuck it, let's run it. Whereas back in the day,
church selling pardons, you know?
Yeah, like straight up, like back in the day, it used to be like you do crime, and then you make a lot of money, and you live like a king for 10 years, and then you go to jail, and you're kind of fucked anyway, because I mean, no one wants to be in jail. Maybe you had some good years, but that was the trade-off. Whereas now, like you do crime, you make a lot of money, you buy yourself out with like half of the proceeds, and then you live a good life, and you never go to jail, and you're just winning. There's a reason why people call it the crime cycle.
And it's real. It's never been more real. And the thing is, it's hilarious because it's happening on every single level. Like from the micro influencer all the way to the president of the United States. Like everyone is criming. We're next. Stay tuned for the CA.
No, we missed it. It's dude. There's people shilling casinos for 500K a month. We didn't take it. I mean, what kind of crime are we gonna take?
I know.
Like straight up, like we've missed so many opportunities to do crime, like, and such good opportunities too. Man. Like
it's never too late. Like I would love to do some fucking slots with you on a Friday. You know, we just pull a few levers and shoot the shit. Like I think that'd be super fun, don't you?
Yeah. No, we're not gonna.
God damn it. You're always standing in the way of financial progress for me, Don. You know.
But like the thing is, like, if we started doing crime now, and I will say I'm just not considering it even. But if we did, I would have kind of like a feel of loss for all the crime that I missed out on prior. You know. Like the moment you do one, you might as well have done all of them.
Yes, but it goes back to the expression of, you know, the best time was then, the second best time is now.
Yeah, I think that is not what was intended with that saying, but the best time to plant a tree was yesterday.
Yeah, the tree of crime.
Yeah.
May it blossom fruitfully. Fuck it, let's wrap.
Yep.
That's all from... I mean, that's it, right? I don't think there's anything else to talk about.
Yeah.
If someone could rescue this fraudulent market and bring it back above 104 for 4 more weeks of chop, we'd be super grateful. If you're going to rug it and wipe out, if you could eventually get back above 104, that would also be welcome.
Just do it while I'm sleeping so I don't even notice. That'd be kind of nice.
See it, yeah. Also, as far as the news we covered, that can be summarized quite simply. I recommend no more news like this for the sake of, you know, our industry and your company, whatever the fuck, or your company and our industry, as the saying goes.
Such a good one.
Thank you to Woo for somehow continuing to support the show. Their links are available in the description below. That's all from us. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.